So another video from the car. I enjoy taking a little bit of a ride on a Saturday. Gets me out of the house. Don't have a whole hell of a lot going on these days. My wife and I are looking into buying a house. And I'm only semi-excited about it right now, and I'm not really sure why. Could be because she's saying we're looking for our coffin, and that's just her sense of humor. She doesn't mean anything negative by it. What she means is that's our forever home. We're not moving. And I think that's part of why I'm only semi-excited about it. The idea of having to fucking move, pack everything up and move. Moving into our own house is exactly what I want. But it's not that we mind renting. It's nice knowing that it's nice renting, and there's advantages to renting. Something breaks, we call the landlord or the management company in our case. They send somebody out to fix it. But also, you don't have any clue what the rent's going to go up from year to year. And the place we're in is not perfect by any means. The rent's affordable for us, and that's why we've been there almost 4 years. I'm a worrier, so they put a new roof on the place a couple of months back, and now I'm worried that the rent's going to go up, $200 because they put a new roof on the place. And the rent goes up that much, and then that house is not worth staying in because it's got too many issues. But for what we're paying now, we deal with. But for $100, $150, $200 more, it's just not worth it. But then, you got to look for another rental. And hopefully you can find something that you can afford, which chances are we're not going to be able to. So we're looking into buying a house. I'm not going to get into all the financials behind it, but we are on a whatever you want to call it. We can only afford so much, which is the case with most people, but there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for us. Our payment's going to have to be right around what we're paying now for rent. And when you buy, then you've got to have homeowners insurance and this and that. So what we're finding is that there's nothing in the town we live in or this area. The market is just too high. So we're having to go north. And my wife's been looking and saving houses and stuff. And we're probably going to go at least just look at a few up close and personal next week, or start doing that. Kind of spread out where we've been looking. So, we're going to find these 5 houses are all in one area. So we'll go look at all those one day. Because you know, you can look at all the pictures on the Zillows and Remaxes and all that, but that is not a true, because when we looked at houses before we bought the house in Charlotte, some of the houses looked really cool. And when you went and looked at them in person, it was like, holy shit, this is not exactly what it looked like online. So, don't want to get my hopes up too high anyways, or really get my hopes up at all, because we're not 100% sure that this is doable for us. My wife can call it a coffin. I told her the other day, I said, it doesn't make me excited when you say we're looking for a coffin. And I know she's kidding. That's not what she means. But yeah, we just want to, we want to find a place, the right place, the right layout, the right view. We're not looking at huge houses or anything. We just want a house that works for us. Decent kitchen, room for me to have my little studio, and place to put our yard tools and lawnmower and shit like that. So it's not in my fucking studio. My lawnmower's not in my studio, but all my tools are in my studio, and just shit that should be in a shed or a garage. So yeah, we're looking for a place that we can settle into, have things the way we want to, put things out. I mean, we've still got stuff that's, still boxed up, pictures that we haven't hung on the walls, because it's like, you don't know, like, are we going to be here a year? Or are we going to be here 2 years? I mean, if you could just go ahead and sign a 5-year lease, knowing that you're not going to have a rent increase, that'd be nice, because, it'd be worth hanging all your pictures and doing all that. But not knowing, when you're 5 or 6 months from having to maybe sign another lease, I mean, how much shit do you want to do to the place that you may or may not be living in 5 or 6 months? So, and the number one thing is like I said, we want to know what we're paying. Downside is that, if the hot water heater goes, we've got to buy a new hot water heater. But if we're paying less money to own a house than we are to rent a house, we can put that difference away in the bank, and hopefully build a nest egg for things like that. Trying to get excited about it. And like I said, I've seen some houses that I really kind of dig, so I'm excited to go see them and see what they look like in person. But we're not 100% ready to pull the trigger on putting an offer in on a place. So, and that was what my wife's been looking and doing this for a few months now, and I'm like, I don't want to get excited about looking at actual houses until I know that we're going to be able to go start looking at them, and if we find the perfect house, to be able to put an offer in and let the chips fall where they fall. And another thing is that when we get to a point where we're putting in an offer on a house, we also, if the offer's accepted, we also have to have the house inspected. So we're looking at $300 to $500 probably for a single inspection. We can't have 5 inspections done in a month, because we don't have enough money for that, unless we're going to stop buying groceries. Then the realtor gets a fee, and closing costs, and you got all these expenses, and You know, everybody's got to get paid. And I get it. The realtor has to get paid because they're finding the place and they're doing a lot of work to make it happen. But, you know, I mean, closing is like, you know, $5,000 now. It could be more than that. And that's just fucking lawyer fees and shit. Keeping my fingers crossed that we can find something and make it happen. Like I said, I dread the idea of having to, you know, then there's the moving expenses too. I have to rent a U-Haul and physically pack everything and move everything into the U-Haul and take the U-Haul to the new house. And yeah, I mean, that's just what you got to do. But we don't have a plethora of people to help. And, you know, going through this shit in my head, talking it out to myself right now, processing and analyzing and all that. And taking a ride in the car is usually a nice way to do that for me anyways. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other, but yeah, like I said, keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully we can make this happen and get the fuck out of Dodge. Move into the place we can make our own. And when we kick the bucket, somebody can put the nails in the coffin. And on that note, I'm going to call this one a video. Thanks for listening. I am the Kid, and I'll catch you next time.